Dennis Meyer, Great Places and Wide Open Spaces. Well, my friends, I'm here to do a review on the Minn Kota Terranova Max 40. Okay, it's basically a tiller steer, hand control. That's it right here. It has a telescoping handle on it, and it's variable speed, but the variable speed, let me tell you, leaves a little bit to be desired. Anyway, I did get the lock for it, the Minn Kota lock, to lock it on the boat. I thought that was an awesome thing that I finally found. It was hard to find. I mean, they show it as an accessory on their website, but trying to find a store that had the lock is impossible. Anyway, found one and absolutely like it. That's probably why they're not there. Maybe they're all sold out. So anyway, also you can see it has a telescopic pole there and adjustments for depth here and the collar there. Basic. I'm not going to get into that because you probably should know how to use those things already. Anyway, I've been fishing since I was 15 years old on a boat. I'm 50, almost 55, so basically do the math, 40 years, long time. I rarely ever use an anchor. I'm always, you know, whether it's a river and I'm slip fishing or sliding, however you want to call it, or positioning on a lake, working a weed bed, whatever, I usually never anchor. Maybe once a year, twice a year at the most, I'd anchor, and I hate it. But sometimes I get lazy and I'll do it. Anyway, I've got a Terranova on my other boat. I went with the Minn Kota. I've always had Minn Kota. Love Minn Kotas, don't get me wrong. Greatest thing ever. And durable as hell. You know, generally they've lasted me about 20-25 years before they finally conk out. So my last one did conk out, and I bought this one. Now, one thing I also do is I spin the head 90 degrees from where you buy it from. So, because I always, in a boat like this, which is a tiller steer boat, see, tiller steer boat, that's what that means. I basically drive the boat from the back of the boat, okay? So I want the handle pointing toward me when I'm going that direction, okay? So if I put this down, lift this in the way, there we go. And I've got it in this position here. I want to be going that way, the opposite way the boat goes. Okay, so I spin the head around that way. I have the handle here and it pulls me that way in a forward gear. Otherwise it'd be the reverse gear and you don't go anywhere, especially if you're a river and you're slipping. I learned that probably 25 years ago. It was on in a magazine. I think it was in Fisherman or something like that. Anyway, so I've been around them quite a long time. There's another tip. Anyway, spin the head around 90 degrees from where the factory puts it, because you don't use them that way anyway most of the time. So what else do we have here? Oh, now here's the handle. The handle here is telescopic. Two things I don't like about this thing. Number one, I like the telescopic, but the first thing I don't like is when you put it all the way out, it's really hard to see the mark versus where you're at on the speed. It'd be nice if they had imprinted every so often on the handle, on the slide handle, a mark showing what the speeds are there. That would be very, very, very helpful and wouldn't cost them anything except to put it right in their mold. Anyway, the second thing that I have to say is the sensitivity on this thing is, I don't like it. 0. I give it 1 out of 10. That's how I think bad this is. Okay, what I mean is, if the wind is blowing a little bit and you want it on a slow speed, especially I'm in a light boat right now, you want to be able to control it starting from about between 0.5 and 1, or a little over 1. Just, you know, feathering it. On this specific motor, you put it right a bit to 1 and it doesn't do anything, and you're like, what the heck? You put a little bit more than 1 and all of a sudden you could just hear the thing spin, and all of a sudden you take off. And then you try to slow it down a little bit, and then it goes into such a slow mode, you don't go anywhere again. So if you're really wanting a real fine tune, like if you're working a weed bed and it's a calm day, forget this. It's not going to work for you because you go too fast. If you want it slow, you'll have to do something else. So this is fine tuning for this one, for speed, forget it. Don't even think about getting this one. Get something else, let me tell you. I've got the bow mount, the one, and I actually have it with the remote control so I can put it on my fishing pole. And that one only gives you a certain amount of speeds. I think it's 10 speeds. But at 1, it will slow you down to almost nothing but keeps you going. This one, like I say, 1 or below, it barely moves the propeller, doesn't do anything. But then as soon as you just barely touch it a little bit more, all of a sudden you hear the engine kick up, and then it takes off, and then you're too fast. It's like no fine control at all. From that point on, though, there is a noticeable difference. It does work well, but if you're wanting slow, fine-tuned control, it's not the one for you. Anyway, that's my review on the Minn Kota Enduramax 40 with handle. And all I have to say is next time I'm gonna read some reviews or figure something else that I'm not gonna trust them anymore. Anyway, Dennis Meyer, Great Place Wide Open Space, is saying, Minn Kota, you did it wrong this time. Bye.